this kid, Nolan Wells, is dead. And he was the only one that was dead. What's wrong with, again, in the state of Mississippi, not just with white boys, there were some dudes there as well, but he had other people there. He was the one that did not come home alive. Again, without an official accusation, what's wrong with having your suspicions raised and saying, listen, we need some damn answers. Something ain't right. He was a healthy young 18-year-old and he didn't come home alive. How'd that happen? What's wrong with that?
Now, if they had context and all the information and then they led with that, I would have no problem with it. But let me tell you this right now, Stephen.
Nah, yo, you see, you remember like before this video started when y'all told me, oh no, Flacco, Tatum said that they might have been something. Nah, no. Tatum have seen all the evidence and he's still refusing to commit to something bad might have happened and an investigation is needed. It's simple as that. But instead, Tatum is resorting to spending the last week and a half vilifying the family and Al Sharpton, and we've seen during this interview, Tatum is willing to just outright lie. Now, here's the thing. If Tatum was not sitting in front of somebody who knew the facts, he would have been able to parade this lie unchecked, right? Tatum is so bad faith, he will get checked and get debunked, right, and get exposed during a debate like this and be given the facts, and Tatum will go back on his channel. I guarantee you, he'll go back on his channel and continue to lie on Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump, even after hearing Al Sharpton say, it's not about racism, we cannot confirm that. I'm telling you guys right now, bro, pretend it was a fraud.
Right now, if a white boy was on an island with his black friends, all black, and some white folks put on a camera that something must be suspicious because the one white boy is with all these black dudes, and something may have happened. We know that people covering it up and everything because these kids black. Man, we'd be pissed off on that. Ain't no way in the world I'd accept somebody saying, you gonna blame these black boys for doing something to this kid just because they black? That's insane.
Yo, Tatum have lost his mind. Yo, these people, again, they are not rooted in principle and integrity. They don't have any foundation for their moral principles and code. They just don't, right? Right? Their moral compass doesn't have any type of, they are not morally intact. That statement from Tatum is laughable, is blasphemous, because Tatum is the same dude who support a guy, right, who falsely accused 5 innocent black kids of raping and murdering somebody when it wasn't true. The exonerated 5. Tatum still supports that guy. That's his president, right? Charlie Kirk believed that the exonerated 5 was guilty. Charlie Kirk, to his death, called them guilty. Tatum and his homies, his right-wing homies, they believe the exonerated 5 is still guilty. And they continue to call them guilty to this day, even though the exonerated 5 was proven to be not guilty, right? They didn't do a goddamn thing. So hold on, bruh. So hold on, bruh. All right? So 5 innocent black men was accused of a grape in Central Park. And they was proven to be innocent. But white folks continue to call them guilty. Yo, homies, and we ain't never seen you, Tatum, say, yo, you know what, yo? Hey, bro, the Central Park 5 was exonerated. They ain't do it. They not guilty. Y'all stop this. Y'all stop this now. No. No, you ain't never done that. But now you want to use the example of, man, what would y'all say if these black kids, if these 4 black kids, was being accused of? We've already seen it, Tatum, and you ain't say a goddamn thing. As a matter of fact, you support the false accusations of the Central Park 5. You support it. So don't get to the high and mighty stuff now, bro. Man, bro, cut it out, bro.
This kid, just because they black? That's insane. And that's what happened in this situation.
If a white boy had been on that boat with 3 black boys, we would have seen it very different.
Where's your evidence?
Yo, what I tell y'all? Yo, remember I told y'all about 20 minutes ago, Tatum is going to resort to the most
It's
bad
getting
faith response,
very
which
bad,
is,
you
what's the
guys.
evidence?
These
What's the proof?
people
Man,
are
listen,
doing
bro,
this young
my
black
experience
man
is the
wrong.
proof.
Shout out to my new
History is the
subscribers.
proof.
Shout out to everybody
History.
that be genuinely tuning in. I
History. A
appreciate you
bunch of
guys.
grown men came and got Emmett Till in the middle of the night, murdered him and got off. That's my proof right there.
Give me a case.
History.
No history. You can say history can tell us everything.
Emmett Till.
Emmett
Till, that's my proof.
We would have seen a very different.
Give me an example
of the Central Park, the exonerated 5.
Well, first of all, 5 of them didn't go to prison. It was Central Park 5. Only 4 of them went to prison.
It was actually 6 of them, and 5 of them went to prison. And I'm not.
And let me tell you how they went to prison.
I'm not going to quibble with you.
You won't give context.
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
Okay.
One at a time.
Now, wait, hold on. Now let's give context, right? So, whoa, Walton. Well, hold on, Tatum. So we're being presented, all right, with you asked for. He gave you an example, all right. 6 black kids was accused of doing something they didn't do, and they went to prison for it. They were exonerated, Tatum. Instead of you saying, yo, bro, the system failed, you're now about to provide the false context of literal children being manipulated by seasoned detectives at like 13 or 14 years old. You're about to say these kids that was coerced into a confession by seasoned detectives without their parents being there, without legal representation being there. You're now about to use racist detectives owning in on innocent kids and coercing them into a confession as the context as to how this situation right here is different. Put Warren as a 13-year-old in an interrogation room without his mama with seasoned detectives. I can guarantee you a confession will be had within 30 minutes. As simple as that.
You asked for an example. I'm not going to quibble with you and say, well, they're called the exonerated 5 and only 4 went to. I'm not going to do that. The exonerated 5. You wanted an example, I gave you an example.
That's not an equivalent example.
And there are other examples throughout history, starting with Emmett Till and going throughout the. Are
you comparing this to Emmett Till?
You asked me.
No. Are you saying that this is equivalent to Emmett Till?
You asked me for an example.
So you're saying that it's equivalent.
Where if reversed?
Okay. I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm telling you. I'm giving you examples. What I'm telling you is that if the situation were reversed, we would have seen a very different investigation from law enforcement from the actual outset. Outset.
Let me interject.
We as a people, when it comes as a former prosecutor, because here's the thing, you're a former police officer, and that's fine. But when it comes to after arrests are made and how prosecutions are going, that's my space. That's my lane. So I'm going to speak from my lane. And what I can tell you is we do not typically enjoy the benefit of the doubt when it comes to probable cause.
That's not true.
I'm telling you as a former prosecutor, I'm not going to tell you what it's like to be
arrest people and I deal with prosecutors.
Yo, can you imagine? Yo, I'll be real, bro. Yo, can you imagine being an innocent black man having the displeasure of an encounter with Officer Tatum when he was a police officer? Yo, can you imagine being an innocent brother being pulled over by Officer Tatum? Dog, I'll be real, bro. That's a scary sight, homie. That's a scary sight, bro. Being an innocent black man having an encounter with Officer Tatum when he was on patrol. Nah, son, dog. Yo, if this is your opinion of black folks, can you imagine Tatum? My God,
I'm telling you as a former prosecutor, I'm not going to tell you what it's like to be
arrest people and I deal with prosecutors.
I'm not going to tell you what it is.
I have to interview with the prosecutors every time there's an arrest.
Officer,
and we have to go to trial.
Well, he's not saying that you don't know. Hold on. He's not saying that you don't know Officer Tatum. What he's saying is from his perspective as a prosecutor, this is what he's bringing up. Now, I granted, I don't blame Officer Tatum. I don't blame Officer Tatum from bringing up, when acting incredulous when he says, you would say Emmett Till, that's 1955. Al Sharpton brought up Medgar Evers at the funeral, that's 1963. So if Officer Tatum's going to look at it and say, that's what you're bringing up, I get where he's coming from in terms of the distance between then and now. But I also get where you're coming from, Charles Coleman Jr., when you highlight, listen, from an historical perspective, we're talking about, we've seen things like this before.
Boy,
and those are just names that we know. There's a plethora of names that we may not have known that have transpired throughout history that have suffered some of these maladies, and we get that part too. Go ahead, Officer Tatum, floor is yours.
But what I'm saying is that you cannot project that. It's unfair to project that. You can have it in your subconscious that there has been things that have been done wrong, but you got to treat these things fairly. You cannot go out and project that somehow the sheriff is a racist and he's not going to do right by these boys. That's not right. Let the investigation ensue, and then if you see impropriety in the investigation, then you can project that. But listen, they interviewed you just said they interviewed 60 people. They interviewed all these boys the day of. Like, what did they do wrong? They did an autopsy.
Officer Tatum, respectfully, what about those who would say the same or would ask the same question about you? Are you being fair? Because just like you have people out there that are elevating their level of suspicion and jumping to some sort of conclusion attached to guilt as it pertains to the death of Nolan Wells, you're coming across as somebody who's assuming these individuals that were in attendance with him were innocent because of your conversations with them, as opposed to not getting the full context the way Charles Coleman Jr. just highlighted.
No, yeah, I accept people saying that, but let me tell you that I saw proof. I'm not just taking somebody's account.
Yo, Tatum's, watch this, yo. I'm about to show y'all how dangerous Tatum is, okay? Yo, have y'all seen Tatum's coverage on Cyan Massey? Yo, listen, yo, Tatum, wait, 1 second. Bro, Tatum tap danced Cyan Massey so crazy that he had to apologize. Yo, do you understand how bad you gotta be when the racist white folks who follow you, when they say, hey, bro, Tatum, you went, yo, watch this, yo. Yo, Tatum watched a black woman get shot and killed in her own kitchen because she had water in her hands. And Tatum says the shooting was justified. Watch this real quick. Watch this. Yo, I'm about to show y'all how dangerous Officer Tatum is real quick. And then we'll be back. Fam, okay? And we'll go back. And we'll go back to that, okay? So look. And we'll go back to the interview real quick. Okay. So look at the thumbnail. Look at the thumbnail of Cyan Massey being shot and killed in her kitchen was justified. Justified. That was the thumbnail. Justified, people. Right? So now look, now watch this. Now here is Tatum. So Tatum is about to justify probably, listen, the most clear-cut, even the white nationalists and the black nationalists, we all came together to say, hey, this is wrong. This is foul. Watch Tatum justify officers shooting and killing a black woman in her kitchen because they told her to take the water off the stove. She had water in her hands and she was shot and killed. The officer got found guilty in a court of law and got 20 years. Watch Tatum make every excuse for these officers. Watch this.
I have to say, I think that this is justified, but it could have been avoided, but still justified.
So Tatum says Cyan Massey's shooting was justified. And this is the man who believes he's the arbitrator, right, of truth and fairness. Dog, Tatum, Tatum, do you understand, bro, how we look? Bro, we look at you as a voice for white supremacy. We look at you as an absolute agent of chaos. Watch this.
I think that this is justified, but it could have been avoided, but still justified. You can't throw boiling water on a police officer and not get shot.
She ain't throw boiling water on. They told her to take it from off the stove. Watch this.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get you one of these shirts. Link is in the description section. Discount code will pop up right here. Like this video. Like this video. Like this video. Hit the like button. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, the deputies in Illinois in hot water. No pun intended. It's too soon. Maybe it's too soon. I'm really not trying to make fun of this woman. It's a tragedy when anybody loses their life. I don't care if they're a criminal or not, except for if you abuse kids, then I don't know, you're on your own, Jack. For the most part, I don't care what situation a person is in. It's incredibly sad if a person loses their life. Never do I want to see a law enforcement officer
get to
take the life of another person, justified or not justified. It doesn't matter. I do not want to see it happen. I wish that we could avoid these things. Now, with that being said, let's talk about this specific situation. Allegedly, and through the documents, and when I say allegedly, because I don't believe none of the news says, and I don't believe the outcome of some of these cases anyway. However, I'll just use the word allegedly. So they responded to a prowler call, which means a person who's lingering or loitering around the property, potentially going in the backyard, searching through stuff. Could be an individual that could be looking to burglarize a facility. They show up to this woman's house, looking around the yard first, and then they make contact with her.
No, first of all, she called them, right? I think that she called them. Yeah, she called them because she had like some type of suspicion. So the context of them looking around, looking at prowlers, no, she called them. They realized who they were speaking to. The homeowner. The homeowner is who called you. You guys get in the house and murder her. Tatum then makes an excuse for the officers every way. So if Tatum can watch a murder take place on camera and make an excuse for the murder that took place on camera in front of us, where even the racist, the white supremacist, were saying, bro, this is bad. What do you think Tatum is gonna do for a situation like Nolan Walls where we gotta pull, we gotta grind our teeth to get information? He has the benefit of reasonable doubt. So he's going to support white supremacy any chance he gets. But watch this real quick. Watch Tatum makes an excuse for this.
He is mentally ill, according to the documents, suffer from schizophrenia and probably other mental health issues. Initially, when you watch this video, you're going to see that they were having a cordial conversation, and then it goes south. Benjamin Crump is on the case, so you know it's all BS, in my personal opinion. We would never hear about this case if the woman was white and these officers were white, or if the officers were black and this woman was white. You'd never hear about it whatsoever. The only reason we're hearing about this is because Benjamin Crump is trying to get some money and trying to get a payout. They ended up indicting the police officer that fired the shot, charged him with 3 counts of murder as if he intentionally killed this woman. I'm going to go through the process and tell you specifically why I think that there's room for improvement in tactics. I think that things could have been done differently. Maybe those things would have saved her life. But that has nothing to do with whether, in my opinion, whether an officer is justified or not in this particular instance, in the predicament that they were already in. There's a lot for me to talk about, so I'm going to just get the video started, and I'm going to go methodically through the video and bring it up. I'm open to somebody disagreeing with me if it's justified or not. I don't think every police involved situation is justified. In this specific situation,
bro, get to the nonsense, Tatum. You talk too much, bro. You clown.
Your ID. One task at a time. So let's do an ID. And then you can dig around for your paperwork.
I don't know where my ID is.
You have a stack right there, maybe?
1 second.
Check on her.
Let me look at this.
No, we don't need a fire while we're here.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so they said we don't need a fire in here. Maybe she should check on the food, right?
They told her to, again, she's sitting on the couch, people. She's sitting on the couch. They told her to go and turn off the stove. First off, even IDing this woman, bro, why are you IDing her? You came to her house to help her out. If nothing bad is happening, leave. But she's on the couch being cooperative, being nice. You tell her, yo, turn off the stove, right? So again, she goes to turn off the stove. Watch this.
So she's probably discombobulated, rambling, and doing all these other things. She seems to be someone who's struggling mentally, right? There's training that officers are supposed to undertake to help them mitigate conflict with people who are struggling with mental illness. Because you're mentally ill don't mean you deserve to get killed over something, right? So officers should be trained and adequate enough to deal with a person and keep things calm so they don't have to get into a deadly force situation. They asked her to go and turn that fire off because they didn't want it to catch on fire while they were over there talking to her. And this is what happens next.
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
I rebuke you in the name of
You better fuck.
Okay, so now she has the boiling hot water in her hand. It seemed like she poured it out, but I guess she didn't pour it all out. And then she started making statements to them. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
So again, she poured out some of the water because it was overflowing. So she poured it out. If her intentions was to throw the boiling water on the officers, why would she pour it out? Also, look at where they're at. Look at where she's at. You think this woman is able to throw boiling water, like 30 feet? You think she's able to throw boiling water and fatally harm them from where she's at right now? Clearly not, right? And when she says, yo, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, clearly she was onto something. Clearly she knew something that we didn't know because these devils was in her house about to murder her.
Now, as a police officer, you're talking to somebody who's mentally unstable. Now she has a pot of boiling water.
Come on.
In her
Yo,
hand.
hood educated, yes.
And now she's starting to turn.
His hand on that gun already.
Your antennas will go up. We'll get to some other options here. Your antennas will go up.
Cool, 10 feet.
If somebody's now talking,
You think she's throwing this water 10
in the
feet?
name of Jesus, you become the enemy. They got a pot of boiling water in their hand, and now they're rebuking you in the name of Jesus. The question law enforcement officers should be asking themselves and engaging is that, what is she thinking, and is she going to turn on us? Is this going to turn into an altercation? This woman has boiling water in her hand, and she's rebuking us now.
No, that's where I got to shoot your ass.
Now, this officer here.
Bruh, listen, man. Dumb devils heard, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, while dealing with somebody who they deem is like mentally ill. And the first thing these devils go to, again, not to get out the house, the first thing these devils go to is, I'll shoot you in your face. Huh? Because she told you she'll rebuke you in the name of Jesus?
No, that's where I'll shoot your face.
Okay. Do I agree with the way he articulated what he said?
Oh, come on, Tatum.
I don't like when officers
Oh,
talk
come
like
on,
that.
Tatum.
Because this is what happens. When you end up shooting somebody, you already look like a deranged fool.
I rebuke you
And look like a
means
murderous
you get shot
thug
and killed.
because you don't have enough respect and decorum and professionalism not to talk like that to people.
This is who we're
You
dealing
may
with,
think
people.
to your mind, I'm gonna shoot you. You better drop it. Have a little bit of respect and know that you got to cover yourself and be professional. So if the thing goes south, you're not on camera saying, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. That seems like an exaggerated, like a acceleration of force. He didn't de-escalate anything. He's escalating.
Drop the
Now, this woman shouldn't have this boiling pot in her hand in the first place. She should put it down. Now, this is an unsafe situation. Where do they go from here? So she squats down. He's on gun. I do not have a problem with him being on gun because he's the officer that's closest to her. And this officer is now over here. He don't know if he's on taser or not. In this situation, this is a small house and stuff can start getting active real quick. You're not going to be able to turn your back on her and run out of the door. At this point, you kind of stuck in a position where you need to be keeping your eyes on her because you don't know what she's going to do. Now, I'll point this out. This is why I think that this is more justified than not. We don't know what's in that pot. Do you? Do we?
What? Water? What? So again, we'll get back to the Nolan Wells thing real quick, okay? I just wanted to show you guys an example of how bad faith this person is. Tatum is justifying officers shooting a woman in her face, killing her, and then calling her a B as she's laying down on the floor lifeless because she had water in her hands.
Maybe now we do. But at the time, this woman is crazy and she's now manipulating this pot. How do we know she don't have acid in this pot or something even more dangerous?
So a woman, so Tatum is saying a woman, had a pot of acid that was uncovered. The lid was open on a pot of acid as it was on the stove burning. So she was cooking acid in her home in a confined space. Now do you understand why we don't listen to Officer Tatum speak on Nolan Wells? Now do you understand why we don't listen to Officer Tatum speak on Nolan Wells?
Okay. Now, officers' tactics is terrible right here. I'm not trying to judge them too harshly because, you know, when the stuff is hitting the fan.
I'm not trying to judge somebody too harshly who just shot and killed a woman. Man, Tatum, go.
Back to this real quick. Where one guy is in front of another. If I was with a standing right here and this is body worn camera, he's the one in the bigger threat. So he should have gun. He has a vest on. I get how it's getting active right now. So I'm not really trying to go
Now, if your headshot, bitch, you're actually done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot.
Now, they just shot a woman. Yo, bro. Yo, here's how inhumane these devils are. They just shot a woman who had water in her hands. She fell. She's lifeless with nothing in her hands. And instead of rendering aid and trying to save her life, they is standing over her with guns to her, so if she moves, they can shoot her again. This is what he's justifying.
Now, people may interpret this officer as brash and he's scared.
Oh, that's what we missed. We missed him calling her a B.
We're going to see here in a minute.
I'm going to go get my kit. Now, if your headshot, bitch, you're actually done.
Effing bit.
You can go get it, but that's a headshot.
It's a headshot. She's going right. So now look. Now look at the comment sections. Look at the comment section. Okay. Look. Okay. Look at the comment sections. Nah, bro. Retired SWAT officer here. I've dealt with 5150 with knives, machetes, and even a hostage. All of them were alive when we were done. Tatum needs to go sit down on this one. Man, come on, bruh. As a current cop of 11 years, I say hell no to this being justified. Man, come on, bruh. Man, come. Another former officer here. I literally searched his channel and said, let me see how Officer Tatum justifies the officer's actions and vilifies the victim. Bro, he did not disappoint. Officer Tatum is the absolute worst. Come on, bruh. Told y'all he was on. Oh, come on, bro. Fam. So do y'all understand this, bro? When y'all hear Tatum react to like Nolan Wells, don't take nothing Tatum is saying in good faith. Tatum justified a woman being shot and killed on camera because she had water in her hands. Water in her hands, who, by the way, they told her to go get. The officer was sentenced to jail. He's in prison right now because of this. So he clearly was not justified. So when Tatum wants to speak on Nolan Wells, remember what he said about Sanya Massey. Straight up.
And I'm not saying that nobody didn't kill Nolan. I'm telling you, the people that they put out on the internet and said these white boys were the only ones with him, and they're getting death threats. While I was out there, somebody sent the suspicious package to one of the boys' houses. They showing up at these boys' houses saying that they killed him. Go look on the internet and look at any of these videos. They got the boy pictures up there saying they had something to do with his death. They're claiming they deleting text messages. All of this stuff is incredibly ridiculous. When I went out and I said, show me the proof then. Not just what you say. Show me the proof. And these kids are showing proof. Their lawyers are showing proof that they had nothing to do with this. They have a Life 360 just like Nolan did. Their Life 360 showed that they were not on the island, or at least, you know, the young man that I interviewed, he wasn't even on the island. I saw his Life 360.
I'll be back, people.
I mean,
Okay?
these
I gotta
kids,
go piss. I'll be
they
back.
shouldn't have done these boys like this. They should
So let
let
me
the
ask you this
investigation
question.
go
So-
and then make their accusations.
So you're highlighting specifically. You're not even saying, like you just said, you're not even saying that Nolan Wells, that some vile act, that he wasn't murdered. You're saying that
No.
these boys, those are the ones that are being unfairly scrutinized and villainized by this whole ordeal. That's what you're saying, Officer Tatum. Is that accurate?
Yes, Stephen A. There were black kids there who now getting threats online too for coming out and saying something. But nobody's saying, what did these black kids have anything to do with it? The young girl he was kicking it with, they don't have her name out there. Well, her name is Katie, but I'm not gonna say her full name. I don't want her to get doxxed. They not why nobody talking about her? She said she was the last one. I mean, she at least mentioned that she was with him. The boy showed me text messages from her that she's saying that she was with him. Like, why ain't nobody coming at her?
I've seen, and see, this is where it gets dangerous, right? The importance in this moment is to focus on the integrity of the overall process. And when I say the overall process, I'm referring to the investigation, because I knew that the girl's name was Katie. I don't know her last name, and I knew it because there were people who I was seeing in the comment sections that I had on videos that I had done updating people about the case, who were asking the same questions that you have. People,
But Benjamin Crump isn't.
Please. So here's the thing, which is why when you're trying to, and at the end of the day, listen, you don't know what Benjamin Crump is doing as far as investigating a case. The same way that you talked about, you know, with an investigation, there are certain things that you.
He just talks. Listen, man. Tatum knows nothing. He just talks.
Don't reveal. You don't know what that team of lawyers are doing with respect to trying to ascertain the facts. When it comes to, did they answer you or did they not answer you?
Well, they answered us on the last one and refused to respond to us. I mean, they refused to engage with us.
They don't owe you that.
Well, which is fine. Well, don't act like you're trying to get to the bottom of something.
So again,
don't act like you're trying to get to the bottom of something.
Don't do the thing to them that you are accusing other people of doing.
He said he's trying to get to the bottom of it.
Don't make assumptions that
I'm not
for
assuming.
them. No, you are. You're like, well, they're not doing this, and they're trying to make this.
They're not reaching out to the boys.
They have not spoken to you.
They haven't spoken to the boys.
Charles. In fairness, at least.
No, it's no unfairness, yo. Fam, the family spoke to the boys on night one. The family spoke to them. They told the family, this is all we know. Here is everything. So if the family already has the boys' statements and they're saying that this is all we know, this is our story, and we're sticking to it, why would Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton need to talk to the boys? Why would they need to the family already know what the boys' stories are. The boys have made it perfectly clear what their stories are, right? So it makes no sense. Again, them not speaking to the boys does not take away from everything. Benjamin Crump is not investigating this. He's a civil rights attorney. Al Sharpton is not investigating this. He's a civil rights attorney. They're saying, hey, bruh, we're gonna speak up and we're gonna go out of our way and have our team on this and have them do the investigation. But the family already knows the boys' statements. What, should they talk to the boys 3-4 times so they can tell them, hey, we told Nolan, let's get on the boat. Nolan didn't get on the boat, so we left with his phone, his everything. Like, why do Tatum think this is such like a gotcha moment? Like, it's not.
Please answer this question. If indeed it's to be found out that there's been no attempt by whether it's Sharpton or Benjamin Crump or anybody else to reach out to the actual boys who were supposed to be in attendance with Nolan Wells, as Officer Tatum just highlighted, do you feel that that's the right path that they should be taking if they're raising suspicions, calling for a more thorough and open investigation, et cetera, and they haven't made personal attempts to reach out to these young men themselves? Do you think that that would be the right thing to do?
I can't think
to ask Officer Tatum's question.
Sure, I can't imagine that legal team would look to bring a lawsuit without having attempted to at least try to get some investigative answers from these boys. Now, when in this process they do it is a different question, because at the end of the day, the more information you have, the more informed questions you can ask. And the chances are you're not going to get multiple bites at that apple. So from a strategic place, what I can tell you is that, yes, I would fully expect that at some point they would endeavor to reach out to these boys, but it may not be this point.
Also, isn't it crazy how Tatum makes an excuse for the officers not providing information to Benjamin Crump or the family because they are still investigating and they don't want to leak anything about possible suspects. But Tatum does not give Crump and his investigation team, right, the same just due, saying, hey, listen, you don't know what they're doing. You don't know how they're investigating. You don't know what they're looking into. You just don't. So you give the DA and the sheriffs, you give them the benefit of the doubt for not being transparent, for seemingly fumbling this investigation, but yet Crump and them is on your timeline. Man, shut up, man. That's the facts, man.
They're not going to get boys, but it may not be this point because they may be waiting for additional information so that they can actually ask better questions. They're not going to get multiple chances to do it.
Tatum, you're getting cooked. Also, too, by the way, right? Now, bro is playing Tatum's own game with him, right? Bro is now, again, let's be real here, okay? All right. We can all agree, right, that if Crump ain't reach out yet, all right? But don't concede an inch. Bro is being just as bad faith as Tatum is, right? And Tatum can't take it. This will be a Tatum explanation if Tatum was on the opposite side. Well, we don't know when they're gonna reach out. They might reach out next week or in a month. They got to do the investigation to find the right answer to ask them. You see how you don't like bad faith responses, Tatum? Now, again, I'm of the mindset the family already got their statements. The boys have already put out their statements. Ashley Cole, the boy's mama, has put out her statement. So why would you need to talk to the three boys when there's hundreds of people who are like bringing in tips? Crump, the mama, and everybody involved have made it very clear they have been talking to people since this very investigation started. And there's hundreds of people who have brought in tips they've been following.
So when you do it, you want to make sure that you're doing it the best way you can. And the only way to do that is to have the information that you need in order to ask the best questions.
Charles, they drug these boys through the mother freaking mud. They put their faces online.
They ain't do a goddamn thing, bro. Listen, the boys' faces were already online well before them.
Benjamin Crump shared this video or this picture of them in a swimming pool. That happened. That event was a week before July 4th. He didn't do no due diligence to check with anybody before.
But Ben Crump says, yo, people online are saying this. Do anybody have any proof of this? Benjamin Crump posted a picture asking people to come forward with any information about the picture. What do you talk? Yo, how do you do research? Yo, how do you investigate and ask for tips, but I can't present what I want to tip on?
Before he started putting this stuff out there. Then what he do is he go, I had people saying that the argument was Nolan Wells asking for his phone back. He didn't talk to Tristan, who I interviewed. Tristan said on NBC, that was me, or ABC, that was me. That was not Nolan. But Benjamin Crump still, to this day, haven't came out and said, we found out that it was another young man. He pushed this stuff on.
What are y'all talking about? First off, how will he know it's another man when he's getting varying reports? Varying reports, all right? And there were multiple altercations that took place, right? So, again, if 10 people is telling Ben Crump this, 10 people is telling him this, how did he decide, I'm gonna believe these 10 people and not this 10 people, especially if the people telling me this are the people who are trying to exonerate themselves? So if 10 folks tell me, yo, Nolan Walsh was asking for his phone back, then the other 10 is saying, no, he didn't. But the 10 that's telling me no, he didn't are the 10 that are possible suspects. Why in the world would I believe the 10 telling me and not the 10 who told me, yo, he, right? So no, of course he has not conceded any points yet because it's still an active investigation and these are people being looked at.
On these boys and they getting death threats. That stuff is not right. Benjamin should be more responsible. But the reason
I'm not
that
here
I
to talk about Nolan Wells' lawyer. I'm here to talk about why Nolan Wells why Nolan Wells is dead.
But let's get to that.
Let's
Let's
get
get
to
to
that.
that. Let's get to
That's
this.
the conversation.
Let's get to the phones.
Go ahead.
The phones getting deleted. Because Al Sharpton came out there and said the mama had to go and search the phone down with GPS and Life 360. No, she didn't. The boys showed text messages, or the parents showed text messages of them communicating with his mom. She refused. And then they go and say they deleted. The boys say, the boys told me it could be not true or not. I don't know. They got to figure it out. They go, we didn't touch his phone. His phone went from the boat to the car with everybody else's phone. And when they came to get the phone, we got the phone out of the car and gave it to another young man's mom who came to get the other young man's phone. They said, we don't know Nolan's password. How are we getting his phone and delete anything? Now, why is them not coming on TV and saying there was no password or they had to get through his phone?
Let me ask you this question. Based on your investigation, I'm asking you this. I'm thinking of any parent that loses their child wants to get to the bottom of it. They don't care if the villain is white, black, or whatever. Their child is dead. They want the culprit. So when you see Al Sharpton eulogizing and announcing that there's a $100,000 reward, when you see that Tyler Perry agreed to pay for the funeral and put up half of the reward, when you see guys like Spike Lee and Terrell Owens in attendance, and Terrell Owens, I think, dedicated $25,000, if I remember correctly, according to the reports that I've read, and you see Benjamin Crump in attendance, and you're talking about civil rights lawyers being in attendance like you just pointed out. My question to you, Officer Tatum, and Charles, you can follow up based on the answer that he provides. My question to you is, why do you think the parents decided to go that route, Officer Tatum, based on your investigation in terms of allowing all of those folks to be so intimately involved in this situation? What are your thoughts about that? What comes to your mind, particularly based on your investigation, talking to the actual parties supposedly involved?
There's two thoughts that come to my mind. One is that Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump are manipulating this family's trauma in order for them to make a crap ton of money. That's one. The second one is the parents trying.
Well, no. Nolan Wells' grandfather was on Facebook the day that Nolan Wells' body was found and saying, this is suspicious, it doesn't make sense. The family already has suspicion before Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton. Nolan Wells' grandfather, and we covered like the Facebook post we made. Nolan Wells' grandfather said, they searched for his body the day before. The day before was the second day because Nolan Wells, was dead on the 4th. On the 5th, they searched for the body. On the 6th, they found him. So on the 5th, drones came, they walked the island from sundown to sunset, everywhere, searched every part of the island, and they didn't find the body, even though the high waves and the low waves, the high tides and the low tides came and went. They didn't find a body. Then they found a body conveniently in the same spot they already searched. The grandfather said, this is suspicious. I need answers of what happened to my son. So if the family already has suspicion, why are you now blaming like Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton for making the family suspicious? No, that was already there.
On this because, and this is the reason why I say this. Why did Nolan Wells' mama say, I don't know these kids? These boys showed me pictures and video and text of them staying over his house, or at least the young boy Tristan, staying over his house multiple times. She went to school with one of the other boys' mama, graduated high school with her. They showed me the yearbook. Why is she saying this?
Yeah, but Warren told you he had never met her. I'm so confused. Warren told you he never met her. Tristan told you he don't know the mom like that. What are you talking about? Bro, your own interview with them would debunk this. They told you to your face, We never met her. What are you talking about?
Why Al Sharpton don't know this boy? Why is he eulogizing him at his funeral? Ain't never met Nolan a day in his life. You know, why are they saying we're going to give $100,000 to somebody who give us information to lead to an arrest? What if Nolan drowned?
Yo, did this? Yo, wait, pause, bro. Hold on, bro. Oh. What's wrong with you? Yo, why is Al Sharpton eulogized? Maybe because his parents is having a hard time. Maybe because the parents are not ready yet, bro, to come and, fam, listen, bro. If the parents chose Al Sharpton, I'm not even going to try to go to, if the parents chose Al Sharpton, if the parents and the family felt like Al Sharpton would do Nolan Wells justice, what's your issue? What's your problem? Why do you care that Al Sharpton is eulogizing Nolan Wells? Bruh, nobody loved Nolan more than his mama and his father. Nobody loved him more. Nobody on planet Earth. So if these people felt like it was the right decision to have Al Sharpton eulogize Nolan, why do you care? What's your issue? Bro, what's your issue? Yo, even the people who feel like, oh, people is taking this out of proportion, do you think it's okay for Officer Tatum to question why Al Sharpton is eulogizing Nolan Wells when the parents picked him? You think that's okay? You think that's cool? You think that right there is in good faith? You think that's okay? You think that's decent for him to question why Al Sharpton is eulogizing Nolan Wells when the parents picked Al Sharpton? Y'all think that's okay? You see, listen, man, it's one thing if you feel like, yo, he drowned, y'all taking this out of proportion is one thing. It's another, bruh, to question how the parents is dealing with the death of their son. That's disrespectful. That's nasty shit. That's not okay.
Somebody who give us information to lead to an arrest.
That's nasty.
What if Nolan drowned? They don't care about him drowning. You know, and then also, why we don't do this for any other young men who have lost their lives at the hands of other people other than white people? Why we coming together?
Charles, I'm going to give you the floor, Charles.
What? Back to Beckham? Why? Because again, if a man lost his life to another black man, that black man would be in jail, Tatum. I'm sorry to tell you, bro. I'm sorry to tell. I'm sorry to tell you. All right. If Nolan Wells was shot and killed by another black kid, that black kid will be in jail. There would not be a need, right, to pressure white folks to arrest a black kid who committed a crime. I'm sorry, bro. If Nolan Wells was shot and killed by a black kid in the cities of Ocean Springs, there will be no civil rights move. There would not be a need to convince or pressure, right, the white DA or the white sheriffs to arrest that black kid. He'll be in jail that night. Things like this is needed, right? We're trying to convince the sheriffs, the DAs to hold white folks accountable for things they do, especially if it's a white powerful family. That's what it is.
Charles, I'm gonna give you the floor in a second, but Officer Tatum, it's one thing I want to make sure that I give you an opportunity to clarify, because it's one thing to feel what you feel about Benjamin Crump, Reverend Al Sharpton, etc. It's another thing entirely to lump the parents who just lost their child
but
into
I
that
know it's
equation, talking about they're trying to profit.
I know
off
it's
this. You
sensitive,
sure you
Stephen
want
A?
to say that? Is what I'm saying. You sure you want to say that?
Let me be clear about this. You asked me what my thoughts were. I didn't say that
Yes,
that was
I did.
facts. I just said these are my
I
thoughts
said your
based
thought.
on.
I said
I'm
your
saying
thought.
based on a few facts.
Bro, listen, what type of sensible, decent human being is saying that a mother who just lost her son is trying to profit from his death? What? Listen, man. Even if you're somebody, bro, who think my guy Flacco, I hate you, Flacco. You are a sensitive liberal, even though I've never identified as a liberal in my life. Like, right? Oh my God, Flacco, blah, blah. Oh my God, you guys is race hustling. Okay, cool. You think it's appropriate, you think it's decent for a man to come on a national platform and to say the mother who is actively grieving her 18-year-old son who just died, she is grifting, she is for profit? Y'all think that's a decent thing to do? bro, y'all have no decorum, bro. Y'all are just absolutely disgusting and sick.
Factors, right?
Okay.
There ain't no reason for Al Sharpton to be doing that boy's eulogy when Al never knew him.
That's not even your call or your business
But
to make.
what I'm saying is that if I die, my daddy, if I die,
that's you.
Respect
Respect the choices that family made.
Let him speak.
if I get killed,
that family had a choice.
why?
And who it is that? Why is that? They don't have to answer to you. That's not.
They
even
don't.
business.
But I have an opinion.
That's that family.
Okay.
I don't even understand why who that family chose to eulogize their fallen son.
What is
any of your business to have any commentary about?
Well, you can't tell me that because it don't.
It's not yo Tatum. It's not your Tatum. They never asked you for a dime. They never asked you to get involved. They never asked you for anything. You are just a disgusting human, bro. Tatum, you are the worst human being I've ever witnessed. Yo, I don't think I've ever seen a worse human being, bruh. You are trying to humiliate and ridicule a grieving mother. What? 23 days after her 18-year-old son lost his life? The brother is right. The brother is right. It's not your business or any of the white nationalists or white supremacists who worship you business.
Don't seem normal. It don't seem normal to me.
Anyone they wanted to.
It don't seem normal. It don't seem normal to me for a man that don't even preach sermons to do a eulogy for a boy that he didn't know.
Okay, we're going off the rails, guys. Time. We're going off the rails. We're going off the rails because Charles, I know you got to get ready to go. We're running out of time, so I'm just going to give this last question to the both of y'all. Officer Tatum, I'm going to give you the word, and then Charles Coleman, I'm going to give you the last word. What are your expectations of what is going to come of this when all is said and done, based on the evidence that we know? Charles, Officer Tatum, I'll go with you first. Charles, I'll give you the last word.
And I'll try to make this succinct. I think we're going to find that the law enforcement agency did a fair investigation, that they did things right all the way through the process, and that none of this will lead to any of what Al Sharpton them said it was and alluded that it was, and they will get to the bottom of what happened to Nolan, and it will be clean, it will be professional, and it will be the same result without the interference with activists and people out here hoodwinking. I think that they're going to find out what happened to Nolan, and it's not going to be Al Sharpton. It's not going to be Benjamin Crump. It's going to be the law enforcement agencies that go out and do this stuff every single day, that does an investigation, that's going to be forensically looked through the cell phone, that's going to interview 60 people and find out what happened to Nolan. And they're going to be able to say, was it somebody that did something nefarious to Nolan? They're going to be prosecuted. If Nolan drowned, they're going to let the family know he drowned. That's going to be the totality of this investigation, which didn't have nothing to do with this race stuff and had nothing to do with these activists coming out and making money on the death of another black boy.
Charles, I'll give you the last word because I know you got to go.
Sure. Thank you, Stephen A. I don't necessarily know what will come of the case. I am and continue to be invested in the integrity of the process, number one, so that it sets a precedent of getting to the facts and having objective information disseminated to the public in a way that's honest, truthful, and transparent. What I will say is that it's disappointing to sit and listen to Brandon talk about the same type of aspersions being cast on Benjamin Crump, on Al Sharpton, in the same way that they are advocating for answers for Nolan Wells, that he has railed against the same type of characterizations going in reverse. A split mirror image of the type of vitriol that you are decrying against the survivors in this instance being spewed at Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton. And I don't necessarily think that gets us anywhere, and it's not productive when you're talking about getting to the bottom of this and understanding what actually happened to Nolan Wells. So for me, I hope that the dialogue can be more tempered, where we're not trying to characterize people in either direction, but we're trying to insist on getting to the bottom of things and looking for the facts.
Spirited discussion, that's what it's all about. Two opposite points of view.
Bro, Tatum should be embarrassed. Bro, Tatum should be embarrassed. Yo, Tatum got cooked, in my opinion, bro. All right, Tatum got cooked in my opinion, okay? Okay, perfect. So let me know what y'all think, man. All right? What do y'all think about that one? All right, come on, let's get to it, man. Now let's go to some other topics. Okay, so and let's run through some quick topics, and then we gotta discuss whatchamacallit, man. And then we gotta discuss the. So we'll do some quick topics, and then we'll get to Tommy Sotomayor and Jake Shields. They did, bro. They did probably listen. They did an interview, and I haven't watched it yet, but I know it's already some. It has to be something, but I'm gonna reframe my thoughts until we review it. Okay, perfect. Let's get to it, man. One sec. Have y'all seen this Trump and Nicki Minaj shit? Here, come on, let's get to it.
Okay, we're gonna go on the end stream
Somebody says, "Oh, wait."
and get into this Nicki Minaj and Donald Trump stuff. Hold on.